So we're going to take a few minutes and just hear from Anil on his experience with the Skylight loan because he did take a loan. Thanks for doing this, Anil. And I'm just going to ask a few questions just to kind of guide the conversation about your experience with Skylight Finance. But yeah, I think just to kick off is just to give a really high level what's important to know about your business, and then I guess what the experience was like looking for finance and then coming to Skylight as a source of finance.
Uh, Thank you, Brian. I just remember from this workshop today that we had the exact same workshop last year. And I remember I saw you for the first time in person last year when I had just started at December last year. I know I was
Hmm.
just playing around with just 3 or 4 hats. And I had that concrete idea, which we talked about today. But obviously there was no money. And I recently submitted my accounts to accountant. I saw that I put £50, first £5 to business account, and then I put another £50 just to create that cycle. But I had just after the session we had last year on accessing loans, I exactly remember Laila was there last year who she gave her experience, she shared it. And then I started preparing my application with my mentor and with coach then. And I think it was probably spring last year when I submitted my application and I started to receive the funding, which was really game changing in my business because at the beginning of the journey of Hetopia, the company I launched the of selling fashion products, it basically I struggled because I didn't have much sale on day one, on day two, on first month and second month. So I think the money that came in, I basically used it like a working capital, and that's where it changed, and it changed to an extent that that cycle has never stopped since then. So it just keeps growing, growing, and it's been great for my business.
That's amazing. I mean, many would say like £1,000 doesn't sound like a lot of capital, and a lot even some people just don't apply because they don't know how £1,000 can help. So I guess would you say then that you found a way to make £1,000 useful to you?
I think I had the same feeling last year when I heard on the screen that the only amount you could get is 1,000. I said, oh, at least I need 10,000. I remember it's on the recording. I said, at least I need 10,000. But but I thought, okay, this could help. So what the strategy I did in my business was I got 1,000. By the time I received 1,000, I had already identified one product that was selling regularly. So I have like a variety of products, of hundreds of them. So what I did at that time was I only invested that 1,000 into getting stock of the same item that's selling every day, that's selling fast, and I knew that it's going to sell, which was not a very easy decision because I thought maybe I will never sell them and I will forever have these boxes of different things with me. But the good thing is I started selling those products, and because I had everything in stock, so I didn't need to go to the wholesaler or order them online every time I get an order. That means I click the option to say, my company is delivering next day delivery. If you order by 4 o'clock, you're going to receive the item by next day, like by noon time or anytime. So that's when I started to get orders, and I started to sending those orders, and I got feedbacks, reviews, and within a month, it was 4 times the amount that I initially applied to receive the loan. And that gave me like the working capital. So I just kept selling and selling and selling. And now I think I've sold hundreds of that product specifically. And still my business relies basically on that same product line. So it's been really
Amazing.
game changing.
Wow, amazing. And I mean, I went over a bit the application process and what we require at Skylight for a loan. Can you just, I guess, give your assessment on how the process was for you and in terms of getting the money and then starting to repay?
I think overall I found it very easy and straightforward because I spent months of doing research on accessing finance, and that those are very tricky. But I remember when I submitted my application, I consulted with my coach and mentor because I thought it might be a very complicated process. However, when I applied, I honestly did not ask for feedback from them because it was just so easy and straightforward. I knew everything about the business, so I submitted it and I received the funds immediately as well. I think the communication overall was good. I think that grace period itself is very good. So you have access to working capital for not just the time that you receive the money, you also have that grace period. I don't know if it's still valid,
Hmm.
but that just gave you extra money. So with the sales that you do, you have like 2 months plus the month you receive it. So it's 3 months of having the amount, which I think is could just generate more sales, more money for you. And by then you feel very comfortable paying back because you pay back small portions. So
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you for flagging that. Yeah, so all of our loans, when you first receive them, there's 2 months where you won't make any payments. Then you will repay a monthly installment. Um, and the timeline is up to you to choose. So the maximum is 24 months, but you can pay, some pay really quickly over 6 months, so they can they can get the capital again from the beginning. Some people choose to spread it out over 24 months, and that really just depends on your kind of how your business is set up and what what your option is. It's always interest free, so you don't pay more or less depending on how fast you pay. It's more if you, yeah, it just depends if you need those big lump sums of capital at certain times. Great. So I guess just in the future, I mean, I know your business has been one that's been growing quite quickly over the last year. I guess in the future, when your borrowing needs grow or funding needs grow beyond what Skylight can offer, what do you see as your strategy to fund the growth of your business?
I think the only thing I have learned throughout this year that I every week I still meet with with my mentor is to know to have very good financial sheet. You have to track everything that's coming and going because you just don't know if things get busy, then it's going to get very busy and it's going to get very messy. And then it's so difficult to track down to go back into a couple of weeks ago. So I think it's best from the beginning, even if you don't have much to do, to track everything out. And I just use, I recommend using Google Sheet, for example, a very uh, basic version. It's not basic, but at least it's free, so you don't pay. And there you can track everything. You know what's coming, what's going. You can also even forecast things based on the sales you have. As much information as you have, it's just going to help you apply for more funding. But if not, it helps you understand and be very confident when you speak about your business. So that's the only thing I think, and the most important thing for any business in our level, like small businesses when they just want to start.
Okay. So would you say then your future growth will be fueled by the business itself, or do you think you'll go outside for additional funding or finance?
No, I think it depends on the nature of business. For example, in my business, I was lucky. I had good sales, so I always had capital
Hmm.
coming in and going. And B, I also won the startup award, which they gave me £10,000.
Hmm.
So that money came in, and I also had, which means I started to buy a lot more products. So now I
Yeah.
doubled up the variety of products, so that if something for summer is not selling, I now have winter stock, I have spring stock, I have even summer next year stock. So I'm somehow prepared throughout all the seasons. But if I choose to go into expand the business to, let's say, an in-person, like a shopping center, that's
Hmm.
where probably I will need a more funding. And obviously, I have insured my business. I have done it. I've done much more like professionally in trying to scale things up. And the more you want to do it, the more you want to grow your business. Obviously, you will have a need for finance. But if you have all these elements pinned together, then you can apply for more funding externally because once your business is selling and you know that it's bringing back profits or at least revenue, then you're not scared of applying even if you pay 10%, 12% interest if you go to the larger scale. That's my understanding.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's, yeah, every business is unique, and some they just always need more finance, just the nature of growth, and some can just reinvest within the business and take small bits of funding. Sometimes you get special opportunities like the award that you mentioned, the grants, opportunities for social enterprises. Yeah, cool. Thanks. I think we will end it there.